Radical.
It's alive! Yes, it's alive! No, he's dead. He's dead.
Hey guys, what's up? It's 8-Bit Eric and you're watching Retro Cynical's Halloween special. Ooh, spooky.
And now, your horrifying host that's not a ghost but does reside on the East Coast where ghosts are the most gross, Joe Grotesque.
Hey gang, welcome to the Retro Cynical Halloween Spooktacular. That sounds really lame. How many times has spooktacular been used? Let's just say Halloween special. Anyway, on today's episode, I really... Did you guys hear that? Listen. Really? Another Trump scare? Come on, we totally did that last year. Didn't I just send Hillary Clinton an email about that? Oh, she deleted them, huh?
Political humor!
All shenanigans aside, the game I wanted to talk about today is an NES port of an arcade game that literally scarred me for life when I played it in the arcade at 6 years old. It's a little game called Chiller. Let's check it out. Chiller was originally released as a shooting gallery style arcade game in 1986. I played it for the first time at the age of 6 in 1987 at the local arcade. And it traumatized me. Well, you'll see in this 1990 home port for the NES. I didn't even know that this port existed until I stumbled across it in an article I read on the internet some 15 odd years ago. This version is one of the only NES games I'm aware of that allows you to use two zappers, though the detection seems to be a bit off, even on a proper TV, so I'm using the manual cursor for this review. It's nothing much to look at, very mediocre graphics and borderline crappy sound. The music is especially weak. Chiller consists of 4 stages that repeat over and over. The objective is to get the highest score possible before your ectoplasm meter runs out. The last 2 stages are absolute cruelty because you're no longer shooting ghouls, you're killing human beings in a torture chamber. This non-licensed NES version is slightly more tame than the arcade original, but the vibe is still there. There was no ESRB to rate this sucker. The final stage is by far the most brutal and is the part that stole my innocence in the arcade. That is terrible. This makes me feel like a terrible person. And crap, a massive glitch explosion. That just sounds awful. I had to replay the first 3 stages again, so once again, here's the final stage. So as an adult, this game seems pretty gnarly, but kids should have been restricted from playing it back in the day. Regardless, Chiller is what it is. It has a unique place in gaming history. Is it a great game? Absolutely not. But this version makes for a unique collector's item, and it's a pretty uncommon one at that. .5 out of 5.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Now, I figured I'd do something special for this episode, with it being the Halloween special and all, and I'd like to delve into something that we've never delved into before on this show, and that's the cinema, or specifically, horror movies. Now, I'd say there's at least quite a few people that watch horror movies and Halloween-themed movies this time of year. It only makes sense. So I've invited the other guys from Generation Rad to give their suggestions. Take it away, Dan.
Thanks, Joe. Hey everybody, this is Dan from OddPod recommending you some horror movies for Halloween. And it was really tough picking some because I love horror movies and there are so many, but I've managed to pick a couple that I think you should watch this Halloween, and it's perfect for Halloween. I'm going to start off with Critters. Now, the Critters movies are excellent. I absolutely love them. And they're great for Halloween because you can watch them with all the lights off, because the movies are quite dark themselves and mostly take place at night, so you really get absorbed into it because it's, you know, you've got darkness all around you and you've got this darkness with these red eyes and teeth coming at you and stuff. And yeah, it's just absolutely great to play in Halloween. So yeah, I recommend Critters. And out of all of them, I say Critters 1, but Critters 2 is good as well. They're all good, but Critters 1 and 2 are probably the best ones, but 3 and 4 are still good, even though 4 goes to space. It's a bit silly, but still, the Critters movies, excellent. Next up, I will go with, if you're not in the mood for maybe you don't know what movie to pick, and you're thinking, I want to watch this movie and that movie, and you can't pick, maybe go for an anthology movie, and I recommend Creepshow. Creepshow has a few different stories within it, so it's like a few different mini-movies. So, yeah, it's directed by George Romero and written by Stephen King, so, kings of horror. And, yeah, Creepshow is absolutely brilliant. My favourite short story on this is called The Crate, and it's absolutely brilliant. Stephen King even makes an appearance in one of the shorts as well. So, yeah, if you can't pick one whole movie, maybe pick a bunch of little ones, and I would recommend Creepshow.
How about you, Marcus?
Well, that's an easy one for me there, Joe. I would pick out The Legend of Sleepy Hollow for sure. This is the Laserdisc, and then also a Chinese DVD edition, which is really funny. The back is horribly translated, but every single Halloween I watch this movie. Mr. Toad, not so much. It's not that it's bad. I just think that The Legend of Sleepy Hollow is phenomenal, and it embodies everything about Halloween and October and fall, and plus it's got the voice of Bing Crosby as well, which is just phenomenal. But it's very scary to me. It still is scary to this day, and everything about it, from the hoedown, that happens, and just everything, the Headless Horseman and the pumpkin. I think it's literally the best Halloween movie there is.
Excellent picks, brothers. But while we're on the subject, I might as well share a couple of my own. How about The Beyond, directed by Lucio Fulci? Now, this takes place in Louisiana at a hotel that supposedly has 7 gates to hell. So I won't really say much more than that, other than it's terrifying. And even though some of the effects can be kind of laughable at times, the overall creepiness of the film makes you look that over. And I've got Dario Argento's Suspiria. Now, this film is another super creepy movie. This made me feel uneasy the first time I watched it, and usually horror movies don't affect me at all. This one was an exception, and it has an amazing soundtrack by the band Goblin. So thank you guys so much once again for watching. I can't thank you enough. I hope you guys have a happy and safe Halloween, and I hope you get to watch some really cool horror movies and play some really cool horror-themed video games. So until next time, thanks for watching, and take care.
Spooky, scary skeletons. I don't know what I'm doing. Trick or treat.